This is the Kamione Gogeta, also known as the Tonson Gogeta, whatever. This is arguably one of, if not the best Dragon Ball figures, and it's not even official. And now, I'm not going to bash on SH Figuarts too much. They've improved greatly in the last 2 years, but it's not about them today. This is a great figure, especially if you bought both variants of it, then you get quite a few forms. You got base form, you got Super Saiyan Blue, everything you'd ever want, right, for a figure of Gogeta. However, what if you wanted a red variant, if you will, just like this guy? This guy had the same idea. I don't know if he used AI or whatever, but it looks good here. What if we were to take this concept and run with it? I introduce to you Kamione Super Saiyan God Gogeta. Now, this concept I've been familiar with for a while. I actually have sold repaints of the Super Saiyan before, which just looks great. Super Saiyan God looks great on almost anybody. The design is just that good. It's one of the best things added to Dragon Ball behind Beerus and Whis, easily. Now, I'd like to show you how I turn this into this step by step. Well, to the best of my ability anyway. I'm kind of new at this. Regardless, usually I'd have to start by like spraying whatever I want digitized with a 3D scanning spray from RevaPoint. But luckily this time around, I actually had these files pre-made by a guy on Instagram. Here's his tag right here. You should check him out. He's pretty cool. He does a lot of cool Pokemon and Dragon Ball stuff. And he'll help you scan stuff for the right price. Cool dude. So luckily I don't have to scan anything this time around. That's a long and arduous process. I'll save that for like a separate video, because that's going to be a whole thing on its own. But with these digital files, I can just slap them in Chitu box and we can print them. Now, I won't lie, there's not a whole lot of information, at least that I've found, regarding to like this specific niche of production. I know it kind of like falls under a blanket of generic 3D printing or casting copies, but in terms of like the materials and how you even go about casting these things or scanning them, it was a mess to learn, man. And there was a guy online that helped me learn a lot of like getting started and the basic principles of all this stuff. His name's Robert Talone. Super awesome guy. He's super quick with it. Tells you exactly what you need to know, how it works. Gives you a basic idea of what materials you need and how to handle them. Super good dude. I recommend it if you ever tried to do something like this. Checking out his channel. In terms of 3D printing, there isn't a specific person that I had in mind you can go check out. They're kind of just everywhere. There's a lot of guys that integrate 3D printing into their custom processes. And, I mean, at this point, I think it should be, I don't want to say common knowledge, but if you like to customize or personalize your figures, 3D printing is definitely going to be like a must-have in the future. It's just too good and too easy not to take advantage of it. And with the way that companies are kind of heading right now with their like out-of-touch, tone-deaf connection with the consumer, I feel like inevitably it's going to have to be like a, you buy something half-baked and then finish it yourself. I know that's like a pretty dystopian thing to say. It's just toys, but that's not just the figure market that's this way. Now, I won't lie, this is not my first time doing this. This is just a streamlined process. At first, I was printing it in like white semi-flexible printer resin, which is not durable in any sense of the word after 2 weeks. Everyone I've used beside Razone has been crap. So I don't recommend a lot of flexible resins for long-term things. But Razone's pretty good. I'll give them credit where credit's due. I'm currently using them right now, actually, the red, like figure resin, like the Titan 13 type stuff. And so far it held up pretty good. It gives just that little bit of give to hold all the pegs together and faceplates. So I highly recommend this stuff. It's a little pricey, I won't lie, and it goes through kind of quick. But it's worth it in the end. So while those are printing, we'll head over to like the faces and how they're done. I never really liked how the Gogeta, the Kamione Gogeta looks. It's not terrible. It's better than the SH Figuarts representation, but it's just not that great, you know? So I was thinking if I could like revise the faceplates and decals and stuff to give them that, you know, Super Saiyan God slimmer look, just to capture, you know, those finer little details. Making these was also super annoying because even if I just traced over the actual figure decals on digitally with like a picture, it wouldn't line up right because there's grooves and stuff in the figure. So if you just put a flat sticker on it, it would look all stupid and come up short. So I basically had to like painfully trial and error sizing and width and junk like that. It took forever. And I'm sure there's some like process or math I could do to like get the right shape and size, but I'm just a dummy with a printer, so I did it the hard way. Anyway, once I got them looking good and everything lined up, then I sent it and outsourced them to a guy with a professional expensive ass printers, because for whatever reason most printers don't print white. Only like super stupid expensive commercial grade printers do, and I don't feel like spending $10,000 to have a printer shipped from the UK to my house. No thank you. So when I get these decals back from this guy, they're amazing. Some of the best quality decals I've ever worked with anyway. A little sucky to apply them, but that goes for decals in general. You need like a whole softening solution, then a setting solution, then you seal it over. It sucks and takes forever, but it's worth it. The end result speaks for itself. Now that the hair sculpts are done printing, let's go ahead and take them off the plate and start cleaning them. This is the most annoying part about 3D printing, is the cleaning and post-processing. You gotta clean them with IPA, isopropyl alcohol, and dude, this stuff sucks. I personally wash all my 3D prints by hand because every time I use my washing station, it just ruins my prints straight up, no matter how long and how fresh the IPA is. So I just have to scrub it by hand. And if the stuff didn't like destroy my nostrils and lungs, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But dang man, even with a respirator, it gets into your mask. You can't avoid it. And once we're finally all done scrubbing this, we can throw them in our curing station. And like, check this out, man. This resin brand is awesome. I gotta give this brand huge props for like not even desaturating even a little bit. It's still got a bright, vibrant color after being blasted with the curing station. If I didn't have to sand and paint over them, I would use them straight off the curing station. So once I got them all cleaned off and cured, I take them over to the painting station and I get ready to sand and paint them. Huge thanks to these guys right here. They are my testers, so they feel out any issues with the kits and prototypes before I release them to the wild. So big thanks to these guys for being like my peer editors, keeping me from sending out trash. Now back to the faces here. We gotta cut out these decals one by one, expression by expression, and facial line by facial line. It sucks, but it looks better that way, opposed to me just slapping on a whole one cut decal. And here's that crappy softening and setting solution I was talking about. This crap has like a really short working time, at least the brand I use. Because if I don't line it up fast enough, the decal starts to become like super brittle and either tear apart or the print comes off real easy. It's just a pain. But when you do like 600 of these things, you usually get the timing down pretty quickly and the lining up your first or second try. Thankfully the setting solution is like super easy. You can just like throw it on there haphazardly and let it dry. And that stuff keeps it from being super brittle and easily scratchable. Once that's done and all those decals are dry, I move over to painting the sideburns, which is not hard. It's more so like mind-numbing, just painting two shapes 40 times in one sitting. But once all the decals and sideburns are painted up and applied, I add a light coat of gloss for durability, and then a final thicker coat of matte finish to seal it all. The matte finish brings it all together and makes it look much more professional than it actually is. And once everything's dry, I'll start packing it up in these little baggies for a much cleaner look. And I started recording this before I got my little artwork cut out to put in the little bin. But here it is, here's what it looks like. I think I did a pretty decent job on it. And that's pretty much the new process from start to finish. time to start shipping these guys out now to like people all across the country. I'm so grateful that everyone likes these, and I appreciate the patience because I am a little bit behind on all this because again I was making all these stupid rookie mistakes. And again, thank you testers, you guys really helped me out on the refining this process. And if this is something you like or would like to see more of, then please let me know, because I want to do more stuff on this channel. I've kind of left it to rot. I've had it for like 6 years and counting. And no, I haven't forgotten about the Gohan versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But every time I sit down and try to animate it, I be like, dude, this sucks, I could do better. And then I practice a bunch. And then I feel I can do that again, and the cycle repeats. I think I just need to actually sit down and do it. And stop being like, oh, I could do better, I could do better, I could do better. I'll just do it. Either way, I mean, I'll keep you all updated. I plan to be a little bit more active overall. I'll have a Discord server linked below, actually, where I post updates about my personal projects and large-scale projects. And updates about them and how it's going. So if you're ever curious, just try and check in from time to time. I'll be posting a lot there. Anyway, I appreciate all your guys' time and patience watching this video. And if you do want to see more stuff like this, consider leaving a like and subscribe. For now, that's all I have.